Hello everyone, welcome to BABUSIRS tutorials. In today's video, I will be solving a science paper from Cambridge Lower Secondary. This is for grade 8 students. Before solving any question, I will explain the concepts for better understanding. Question number 1. Blessy is learning about DNA. She finds this diagram of strands of DNA that have been taken from the nucleus of a human cell. Now, as you know, this is a human cell. In the center, there is a nucleus. In the nucleus, there are genetic materials, that is the chromosomes. Now, some of the genetic materials are drawn here, and these are called strands of DNA. Now, why it is called strands of DNA? I'll just draw one of the strands of DNA here. So, this strand I am drawing it here. If I pull this strand, you will find it is extending in the form of DNA. So, this entire thing are strands of DNA, and this strands of DNA is called chromosome. Now what I have drawn here are strands of DNA. From that you are having different parts. This is one part, a smaller section. This is another part, a smaller section. This is another part, one more smaller section. Now these smaller sections contains one information. Example, eye color. And the strand which has one information is called one gene. So if you see the next question, small section of the strand. So if you see here, this is a small section of the strand, and it shows you information about one particular feature. Example, the eye color. Now what are these small sections called? These small sections are called gene. Now we'll go to the next section. Next section is Blessy makes conclusion about strands of DNA. These strands of DNA were taken from a man and not a woman. So in humans, there are 23 pairs of chromosomes. Now 22 plus XX is a female, and 22 plus XY is a male. Now if you see the above question, in this there is a Y part, and Y determines a male. So here the question is, Blessy makes a conclusion about the strands of the DNA. These strands of DNA are taken from a man. If you take it from a man, then it has Y chromosome. Now if you see the above things, there is a Y chromosome. That is why if it is a man, it is correct. So it is yes. Now why it is correct? Because it is having a Y chromosome. Question 2. Look at the electronic structure of some atoms A to F. So first we will be learning what does the atomic structure show. The atomic structure will show you two features. One is, I'll give an example, 2, 8, 8, 3, suppose. The last orbit shows group number. Example, it is 3. So this belongs to group 3. Now one more information it is having 4 shells. You can see 2, 8, 8, 3. So there are 4 shells. So the number of shells shows the period number. So it is period number 4. So there are two things. One is the period number and one is the group number. So here you can see in the last it is 1. So this is group 1. There are 3 shells. So it is period number 3. Here there are 2 shells. It is period number 2. Last it is 7. So it is group 7. Here it is group 1. Only one orbit. So period number also 1. Here it is 4 shells. So it is period number 4. In the last it is 1. So group number 1. Here there are 2 shells. So it is period number 2. In the last it is 3. So group number 3. Here it is 2. Now this is something different. Let me explain to you in a short time. So first we'll check which electronic structure shows an atom of element in group 3. So you can see here directly this is showing group 3. So the answer for the first question is E, which shows group 3. Which electronic structure shows an atom of an element in period number 4? So P4. So here you can see P4 is here. Remaining are P2, P3 and all that. So it is structure number D. Which electron shows an atom of an element of group 8? Now what is a group 8 element? Group 8 element means it is fully filled. So what is the definition of fully filled? If it is only one orbit. Fully filled means it is stable. If it is only one orbit, so the stability is 2 elements, 2 electrons. And if it is more than one orbit, then last orbit must have 8 electrons. So we didn't do this. So here if you see this one, it is only one orbit and it is having 2. So it belongs to group 8 because it is stable. So group 8 you can see it is F. The rules I have written is down. If it is one orbit, it is 2 electrons. If it is more than one orbit, the last one must have 8. Question number D. Which 2 electronic structure show atoms whose element are in the same group? Same group means might be they are in group 1, group 2. So we'll check. So this is group 1, this is group 1 and this is group 1. So we have to write 2. See, this group 1 is hydrogen. And hydrogen we don't include in the periodic table. Hydrogen is always out of the periodic table. So balance 2 remains, that is A and D, which belong to group 1. So here you can write the 2 electronic structure which shows same group, that is group 1, is A and D. Question number 3. This is the question about transfer of thermal energy. Now thermal energy means it is heat energy. The diagram shows a Bunsen burner heating a solid object at one end. So you can see this part is getting heated. Conduction transfer of thermal energy. Now what is conduction? Conduction is passing of energy or heat energy from one particle to another. So we'll take an example of all this here. So this is your first, this one particle which is getting heated. Now this particle is already vibrating. Now because of heat, energy, it will vibrate more. So here you can see this particle, because it is getting more energy, it will start vibrating more. When it will start vibrating more, it will collide with this one, which is next to it. And because this is vibrating, this one will also start vibrating more. In the same way, this one will hit the next one, this one will also start vibrating more. Once it will vibrate more heat energy will also be transferred. And heat will be passed on from one particle to another. Now we'll see the questions. The particle of an object gain energy, and now see, you can see here, it will gain energy, and what will happen? It will vibrate more. These particles, now what it will do? This one will collide with the next one. So you can see here, it will collide with the nearby particles. And now what will happen? It will transfer, because of vibration, it will go on transferring heat. So what will happen? This passes the energy from the hot one to the object at the cold end. So this one will get heat. Question number 4. Mai uses a model to show how tectonic plates move. Mai floats 2 pieces of wood on cooking oil in a dish, places a candle below the dish. Now why is the candle there? To give heat. Lights the candle. Now once you light the candle, heat will be provided here. Once heat will be provided here, this will become hot. Because this will become hot, this will rise up. Because whatever is hot is light. Now here there is cold oil. Now this cold oil will come down and become hot and again go up. So this is the movement of oil. The hot oil will go up, the cold oil will come down. This is called convection of heat, where you provide heat here, this goes up and the cold one comes down. So similarly, you can see in this diagram, the hot oil goes up and from the top the cold oil comes down. Again it becomes hot and goes up. So this type of movement will be there in the oil. Now because of this movement, this will be pushed here and this will be pushed here. And because of that, you can see these wooden pieces, they move here and here, which is an example of tectonic plates, why they move. To explain why the two pieces of wood move. Now, because they are moving because of these currents. Now, this is called convection current. Convection current means the lower part gets hot, it goes up, and the upper part, which is cold, comes down. So you can see the movement of both the currents. And because of that, this wood, they move apart. So you can write here convection current. So the hot oil moves upward and cold oil moves downward. And because of this movement, the wood pieces are dragged apart. Now, question number 5. Jamila investigates the effect of light intensity on the rate of photosynthesis. Now, first we'll see what is photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is when a plant takes in carbon dioxide, water, and prepares food. I'm not writing the entire equation. I'll just write in a shortcut. Plus, it will give out oxygen. So, two things are required here. One is light, and second is chlorophyll. Now, Jamila wants to investigate only this light part. So, what will she do? She will change the light. Now, how to change the light? The light is provided by this lamp. So, you can decrease the distance or increase the distance, and the light intensity will change. And you can check the rate of photosynthesis, that means the speed of photosynthesis, by the number of oxygen bubbles that you can see here. So, we'll go with the first question. Describe how Jamila uses this equipment to investigate light intensity. Now, how to change the light intensity? As I told you, you can change the distance between the lamp and this is a pond weed. So we'll write it pond weed. Now, if it is more near, it will get more light. If it is less near, it will get less light. So that is the first one. Second is affects the rate of photosynthesis. How speed plant will do photosynthesis, that you can check. That is the second part. You can check with the amount, or you can instead of amount you can write counts or number of bubbles. In a particular time. So we'll write in a fixed time. So light you can change by increasing the distance or decreasing the distance between the lamp and the pondweed. And how to check the rate of photosynthesis, that you can check with the number of bubbles. Now next is state one variable Jamila controls. Controls means she keeps constant. Now only the light part is changed, remaining everything has to be constant. So carbon dioxide has to be constant, temperature has to be constant. Then the weed you are using, the pond weed you are using, the size of it and the species of it, they also have to be constant. Next is predict the effect of change of light intensity in the rate of photosynthesis. So if light intensity increases, rate of photosynthesis will also increase. Same thing you have to write. If light intensity increases, the rate of photosynthesis also increases. Jamila does each experiment of her investigation 3 times. Then she calculates the average. Mean is the average of photosynthesis. Explain why this improves the investigation. So once you do a experiment multiple times, your accuracy increases. You get more reliable results. So you can write results are more reliable. So this answer you can write. Question number 6. Ahmed prepares some copper sulfate crystals. He reacts solid copper carbonate, dilute sulfuric acid. So these are the 2 reactants. So write word equation. So first we will write copper carbonate. Now this one will react with sulfuric acid. And what we are getting? We are getting copper sulfate solution, carbon dioxide and water. So the same thing you have to write it here. Copper sulfate plus second thing is carbon dioxide and water. So this is the word equation. Now at the end of the reaction, you are getting a solution of copper sulfate and there is some solid left of copper carbonate. Now why is this solid left? This must be in excess. It must be more. So that is why it is left. Now let's see what is asked here. Describe how Ahmed separates the copper sulfate solution from the insoluble solid. Now how will you separate this? So it is very simple. You can just separate it by filtration. Second is describe how Ahmed makes copper sulfate crystals. Now copper sulfate is in the solution. Now he has to make crystals. So what will he do? He will evaporate the water. And then he'll just leave it. And then automatically crystals will be formed. Leave it means leave the solution. And automatically you will get crystalline solid. It is just like salt when you put it in water. So you get a solution, and afterwards if you want the salt back, you just evaporate it and slowly you will get your salt back. We'll go to the next one. Question number 7. Uree makes an electrical circuit. Now suppose if I see this circuit, what is missing? So the cell is not there here. So I'll draw the cell first. So a cell has a long one and a small one. So the long one denotes the plus charge and the short one will denote the minus charge. Current will flow from plus to minus. Now this is the flow of current. Now if you see this, it is a series circuit. In series circuit, current is same everywhere. So current will be same at A1 also, and it will be same at A2 also. Now what is A1 and A2? A is ammeter. Using ammeter you measure current. Now next is, this is your lamp, you can call, or it is the resistance. Now if you want to check the voltage of this lamp, you connect a voltmeter before and after the lamp. So this is the voltmeter by which you can measure voltage. So we'll start with the questions. The first question is, Uree puts one cell in the gap in his circuit. Draw the standard convention symbol of the cell. So that we have already drawn here. That is this one. You have drawn here with the symbols also, the cell part. Second is, the reading of ammeter A1 is 0.55 ampere. State the reading of ammeter A2. So as I told you here, the current in the entire circuit will be same. So in A2 also it will be 0.55. Next is, Uree measures the voltage across the lamp. Draw the position of the voltmeter. So we have already drawn it here. And I have explained you how to draw the voltmeter. Use correct standard convection symbols. So symbol V that you have already written there, and also the starting and ending point we have drawn there. Last one is, Uree adds another lamp. Now what will happen if there is already one lamp here? So if you add one more lamp here, the resistance will increase. And because the resistance will increase, the ammeter reading will also decrease. Because as the resistance increases, the current flow will decrease. So ammeter measures current, so ammeter reading will decrease. Now, question number 8, the diagram shows a simplified carbon cycle. So, the first part, that is the A part, you can see plant is using carbon dioxide to prepare its own food. So, this process is nothing but photosynthesis. Then this plant is eaten by animals. So here the word feeding is written already. Now plant and animal, you can see these two lines. Both will decompose. They will die first and then they will decompose. Animal will also die and decompose. Plant will also die and decompose, and you will get fossil fuels. Now this fossil fuel, that is petrol, diesel, kerosene, everything, will be used in factories or in your vehicles, that is your cars and all that. And factories and vehicles will burn this fossil fuels. And carbon dioxide will return back to the atmosphere. So burning this fossil fuels is nothing but combustion. Now, this part is combustion. This part is remaining. This part means how animal transfer carbon dioxide into the atmosphere by respiration. Plants take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. So we'll start with the first question. Write down the names of the process A, B and C. So A, you can see it here, it is photosynthesis. B, you can see it here, it is respiration. And C, you can see it here, it is combustion. We'll go to the next question. Scientists are concerned about climate change. Write down one impact of climate change. Climate change means there will be increase in temperature, there will be more rains, there will be extreme weather, there might be no rains also. So one possible impact, there are many impacts. So we'll write flooding. Flooding means more water. Second, no water, so it is drought. If temperature increases, there will be increase in sea level. Fourth, increase in sea, I told you increase in temperature, you can call it global warming. Now results can be many. So I think so 4 is enough. Question number 9. The picture shows 2 butterflies. The butterflies are the same species. So these both butterflies They belong to the same species. Write down two ways the butterflies shows variation. That means you have to show the two differences in both the butterfly. So you can see one is small and one is big. So one is you can write different size. And one more difference you can see the spots here. There is spots present here, but there is no spots here. So you can write one has spots on darker edges. So it is clearly seen. Now, why there is variation? So variation are because of two factors. One is inherited from parents, that you can call it genes. And one variation can be because of environmental factors. So variation are because of two things. So we'll check here. The environment causes variation. So this is the second point. Which other factors? So they have written this second one. So you have to write the other factors, that is genes. Next question is, male butterflies fertilize the egg from female butterflies. Describe what happens during fertilization. So during fertilization, the gametes fuse. That means they come together. So male gamete fuses with female gamete. So you have to write only this thing, that the gametes, they fuse. Now question number 10. This question is about density. So you know the formula of density. Density is equal to mass upon volume. Now in your questions, they will give you two, and one they will ask you to find. So the solid A has mass 20. So you can write here mass is 20. And volume is 4. So volume you can write it 4. And you can just divide it. So you will get pi. From top you can write G. And down you can write centimeter cube. So this is your answer. And this is your unit. Now next question is, solid B is added to water. B does not react with water. So either if B is not reacting, so it will either float or it will sink. So let's see. Now the rule is, you are putting it in water. So water density is 1 gram per centimeter cube. This is the density of water. Now if you put anything in this, so this is your water. Now water density is 1. Now if you put anything in this, density less than 1. So it will float. And if you put anything in this, density more than 1. So it will sink. So here it is written solid B has density, I think so, this is less than 1. So what will happen? It will float. Now why it will float? As it has density less than the density of water. Question 11. Oliver looks at two different sound waveforms. So first we'll see the rules. Now this is a wave. So if you see the length of this wave, this is the length, height. So this is called the amplitude. By the wave, that is the amplitude, but when you hear, it is loudness. That means more the height of the wave, more it will be loud. So if I draw something like this, you can see this has a bigger amplitude. So here the loudness will be even more. So this is rule number 1. And rule number 2 is number of waves per second. So suppose here you can see number of waves are less. So when you see the wave, you will tell less frequency. But when you will hear it, there are two things. When you hear it, more frequency means high pitch. So less frequency means less pitch. So these are the two rules. So let's see what to write for this. So look at sound waveform A. So look at this one. Which features remain same? So you can see the height of each wave is same from beginning till end. So what is same? The amplitude is same. Now what is changing? Changing, you can see the frequency is changing. Here it was slow and here it is fast. See at this point I'm writing X, it is slow. And this point Y, it becomes faster. So what is changing? The frequency is changing. Second is they are telling, look at B. So you are now looking at B. B, you can see the amplitude is changing. Here A is less, here A is more, and again A is less. So first it is less, more and less. And if you see the frequency here it is less, here it is more, here it is even more, here it is even more. So frequency is increasing. So amplitude is first less, then more, then less, but frequency is continuously increasing. So we'll see. Oliver listens. See, now this is the hearing part. It is not, they are not asking about the wave. They are asking what he is hearing. See, you can see it here. Describe what he hears. So what he hears, you can see the frequency is increasing. So the pitch is increasing. Second, what is hearing again? So first, loudness is increasing, and then decreasing. You will not write the amplitude, you have to write what he hears. So you can see here, I have written, first it is increasing, it is becoming more, and then it is becoming less. Question 12. When an asteroid hits the Earth's surface, the asteroid forms a crater. That means if I put here, this is the Earth. And suppose if an asteroid hits this Earth, it will form a crater. That means it will form something like this. Priya investigates how the speed of an asteroid affects the diameter of the crater. That means if this comes down with a greater speed, that means it will make a more bigger crater like this. She drops a stone on the sand. Now she cannot do this on the earth. So she is doing an experiment by dropping a stone on the sand and measuring the diameter of the crater or the hole formed. So what she is doing, now suppose if this is the sand, she is dropping this and she is seeing how big the crater is formed, like how big the hole is formed. And then she is dropping the same thing with more speed. And then again a big crater is formed. Then again the same thing with more speed. So you will get more bigger. So as the speed is increasing, the crater size is increasing. So what she has done, when the speed is, see the speed of the stone is 3. And that time she gets a crater of 6.5. Now when it is 4, see it's written next one, the stone has a speed of 4. So crater diameter is 6.9. So this will be 6.9, you can see. If you go here, see it is 6.9. And here the speed is 4. Plot the result on the graph. So you have already plotted here. Draw a line of best fit. So you can just draw a random line like this, which is showing best fit. Now, by seeing the graph, you can see as the speed goes on increasing, the diameter of the crater is also going on increasing. So it is here written, complete the sentence about the relationship between the speed of the stone and the diameter of the crater. So as the speed of the stone increases, the diameter of the crater gets greater.